I'm gonna get on a plane, which I haven't done that for a long time. Oh, Leah got me Reese's Pieces, or Reese's, no, not a Pieces, not a piece, a whole cup. Today is Wednesday, May 4th, and then I will be there until Monday morning. It's the trip. Ciao for now. Hello. I am here in Fenaish Deluche. Paid the taxi driver 20 euro. I don't know if that was okay or not. So this house, Nalia says, is a traditional house. And it was built in 1920, the 1920s. And her grandfather's father, I believe, is who first lived here. There are pictures of the family everywhere, which I was hoping. There are pictures of Jesus and Mary out the wazoo. Rosaries are hanging off of a lot of doorknobs. And I think there's one on my bed. Yeah, there's one on my bed. I'm gonna get up and I'm going to walk around this village, because that is what they call it. I'm not super familiar with this term, what classifies as a village as opposed to a town or a neighborhood. I am going to Ponta Delgada to see the last day of the Santo Cristo Festival. There's like a big party going on. So, shall be interesting. Oh, yes, one more thing. Helena is another contact Miguel gave me. Connections. She's a psychiatrist, a retired, part-time, kind of retired psychiatrist. One of these days that I'm here is going to take me around and show me places on the island, which is super awesome. I'm a little in shock, and I'm a lot tired. So I'm gonna go. I'm standing out on this balcony of the house I'm living in, and I'm looking out over these beautiful little gardens in the backyards of the people who live here, and it looks like their backyards all kind of overlap. It's misting, and it's windy, but I only know that because I can hear it. Or maybe I'm just hearing the waves. To the right of me is the ocean. I'm like in awe. And then in my like center right is what I assume is a volcano, which is something I have to say that I never thought I would say. It's starting to mist a little bit more. I'm gonna hurry up. Oh, it's really misting. Okay, it's really raining actually. So I'm going inside. That was my morning breakfast in AyZorEsh. And now I go. Hello. This is day 2 of my Azorean adventure. Actually, it's day 1. It is night 2. Today was a really good day, and I'm exhausted. Today I walked out my door and I literally didn't get to the end of the street before I heard beep. And so then he pulled up next to me and he was like, "Hey, you're living in my house." Oh, cool. Would you like to go get a coffee? And I said, sure. Because I'm learning to say sure when people ask me if I want coffee. We get coffee, we drink our espresso at the bar. He pays, he's wonderful. I think he's the only man in the shop who spoke English. He moved to America in the 1960s and then got married there and had his 3 children there. And so his children grew up in America. In the 80s, he moved back to AyZorEsh. He was a dairy farmer in America, and he was a dairy farmer in the Azores when he moved back. He is retired now. And they had been to America already once before, but moved back to the Azores, they being his parents. But they moved back to the Azores at the beginning of the 30s because of the Depression. And then the second time they came is when they brought Tony with. After Tony left, I putzed around Fenaiche de Luche. It's a really beautiful little village, very quaint and quiet, except for the birds and the chickens. Standing there with my phone out, looking at the app and looking at the sign and trying to figure out when the bus was coming, and then I gave up and settled for the taxi. This time for the taxi, it only cost me €10, not 20. When I hopped in the car, Adele's song When We Were Young came on, and I was like totally having a moment. And then I said, "Gusto, Adele." And then he said, "Oh," and cranked it. And so we're driving through Azores on our way to Ponta Delgada, jamming, and it's incredibly beautiful. Restaurante Adega Regional. The wine, supposedly forbidden in continental Europe for some reason, so I got it. Morcella Comandanash is blood sausage served with pineapple. It was really good. I've never actually had blood sausage before. Also, Jean on Jean, maybe not so American. Women were rocking it out the wazoo today. A group of 5 women all wearing jeans on the bottom and on the top today. Sock it to all of the people that told me I couldn't wear jean on jean. So this is such a pain in the butt video right now. I walked around some more, just like explored the town, but I came across like where the city kind of fizzled out into nothing. And I was able to sit on a rock and look out at the ocean. It was right before the mass that they had to end the Santo Cristo festival. And people were coming in to see the image, Santo Cristo, that they open at this time of the year. And there was like a long line of people that wanted to see him still. But this is the image, and it's so far away. It's like through this gate, and through glass, and then there's all of these flowers in this like aisle, and then it's him. We do this, we come to this image to see Christ in this way, and to me, he looks wilted and weary. But we all see this face of his in this particular way. What does his face mean? Why have we come here? This is my day 3 recording of my time in the Azores. I'm going to start calling it the Azores instead of AyZorEsh because that is not what people call it here. I was so tired last night when I was doing my video recording that I didn't even talk about the festival activities, really. The first thing that they had yesterday was a mass. During mass, it was this time to focus on the mass and not to focus on trying to make sure you're seeing Santo Cristo. The homily was really long. Maybe I just felt that way because it was in Portuguese. After mass, I had some time, and so I started walking towards the spot where I had been the day before. And then I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm going to watch the sunset, I have to be smoking an Azorean cigar. And so I'm walking, trying to find a place. I ended up finding another cafe that sold cigars in this like dispenser machine thing. Walking very fast to the place where I wanted to go. I probably walked further than I should have walked. It was great. I didn't get to sit there very long before the sun went down, but it was okay. Then I walked back to where everything was going on. Concession stands and tables and tents set up. It was like hopping. Carnival games, shipwreck kind of big like fair ride that I can't go on because I'll throw up. Bumper cars and music and the of like games going, and it reminds me of Hawkeye Downs in Iowa. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some food here and sit with whoever I sit with, and it'll be fine. And so I hop in line, and it was like right in front of where this like reggae Portuguese singer was performing. And somehow I got to talking to this guy behind me. I think he was asking me why I was alone. And it turns out he lives in Florida for 6 months, and he lives in São Miguel for 6 months. He and his wife are originally from Portugal. But then when I got up to the front of the line, the man asked me how many of there were me. And I said 1. I ordered the sandwich that everybody was getting and a beer. And the cheese was like delicious, really thick, but like melted. Queijo da serrada, garduna, harder kind of ham that you like rip and it's chewy. It's the military band playing in the square. Food, like smaller concession stands all around, like cotton candy and ice cream and junk food, popcorn, you name it. Lights everywhere, and Santo Cristo Igreja was completely lit up. It had to take forever to put those lights on that church. But I stood there and listened to the military band for a few songs, and they were very impressive. I was able to kind of whittle my way up to the front, tapping my foot, and it was really nice. Yeah, I'll tell you about my day today now because it was such a great day. I woke up this morning having no idea what I was doing. God, I don't know what I'm doing today. Help me. And I was standing by the bus stop, and there were about 4 adults and a child, maybe age 3, sitting on the church steps to the right of me. All of a sudden, I see him like kind of pretending to himself in his own little world, and he's going, I was like, oh my gosh. And then he goes, bah! Like he's throwing a cigarette on the ground, and oh, he's saying something important. That was really funny to see and also kind of scary. I also saw a tractor go by and a motorbike or a dirt bike. A guy on a dirt bike stopped in front of the cafe, and then he went in, and I was like, oh, it's a dirt bike. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Then I got to Ponte Delgada, and I moseyed, and I got some bread, and I got some butter, and the Azorean butter, do not underestimate. It's like really good. I called Helena, and we are meeting up tomorrow at 10 a.m. She's going to pick me up, and we are going to Furnash, and I'm so stoked. So then I started moseying again, and I came across a museum, Carlos Machado's, and that was worth €1. I got myself a cab, and I told him that I would like to go to Villafranca. And he was like, okay. So then we took off. He was asking me more questions about Villafranca and why I wanted to go there and what I wanted to do in Villafranca. Well, I heard there's some good pastry. He's like, okay, so you're going to eat this pastry, and then are you going to walk around, or what do you want to do? And then are you going to get another cab, or to be honest, I don't have a plan. And so finally he said, how about this? It's €25 to get there, but if you stop there and you get a different taxi driver, he's probably going to charge you 30 on the way back, which isn't that big of a difference, but with me, for €50, you get to go there and you get to go back, but you get to stop at places and see more things. I'm like, yeah, okay. So worth it. Oh my gosh.
Viste todo el mundo, el taxi sensato del patio. Queremos darle una bienvenida a todas las mujeres que hacen vino por todo el mundo. Yo la conocí en un taxi, en camino al club. Yo la conocí en un taxi, en camino al club. Me lo paró el taxi, me lo paró el taxi, me lo paró el taxi, me lo paró.
significant for you than the one in.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm rationalizing that.
No, I think it's.
Yep, here they come.
Yeah.
I knew it.
This is
I knew it. I had, this is all planned. You didn't know that.
Oh, but you know what? You are so wise.
Ordered. I said, Canada wants to do this. You guys got to go to the program.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, if they're coming this way, I could just park myself on the street somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go, but they're forming there.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't think they'll come this way. This is going to be a little more sophisticated than the other one.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm assuming.
Hace vino, de todo, de todo, de todo. Ella hace vino, ella hace todo, de todo, de todo, de todo. Ella hace vino, mi amigo. Yo la conocí en un taxi